We can go ahead and get started. And then if other people jump in, then that's totally fine. And we are recording this time for sure. I'm looking at the little red dot. So if anybody misses out on the first part, we'll just have the recording available. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Jenny Perulski with Ads Uncorked.
All right, thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and dive on in. Like Jennifer said, can you hear me fine, Jennifer? Great, okay, wonderful. So my name is Jenny Perulski and I am the owner of Ads Uncorked. We are an advertising agency that specializes in Facebook and Instagram ads for business owners. And we've worked with all different size businesses, from small mom and pop shops all the way up through large international companies. And I've also worked with a couple wineries in the past as well out in the California area. So anyway, I'm really excited to share with you today what I've learned over spending, I think my business is at spending about 1.8 million on Facebook and Instagram ads over the last couple of years, and just want to share with you what we've learned in regards to what's working, what isn't working, and then specifically talking to winery owners as well in regards to who you're going to want to consider targeting and what those ads can look like. So we'll go ahead and just dive right on in. If you have any questions at any point in time, just drop them in the chat box. I have it open on my other screen and I'm happy to answer any questions, and then we'll do a big Q&A at the end as well, just to kind of dive into more personal questions that you might have regarding specific campaigns and whatnot. These are just a few brands that we've worked with. CBS and their sports line department. We currently run ads for Schwinn, Mongoose, their scooters, their bikes, all that, along with countless other companies as well. But these are ones that you might be more familiar with than some of our other smaller brands. All right, so today we are going to cover different types of ads, what they look like, Facebook pixel capabilities, audiences that you should be considering, how to create effective ads, and then we'll open it up to Q&A at the end. And then just as a heads up, you'll see that these concepts here, I'm really taking a step back and starting at the basics and building the foundation that you need to know in order to run ads. You'll see that we're not going to be doing a whole bunch of screen sharing and doing a lot of that. I have so many free tutorials on my site that I'll direct you towards at the end if you want to learn more. But today is just understanding what can they do for your business, why might you want to run them, and get your brain and your wheels turning of what kind of ads would be good for you to consider, rather than the nitty gritty of what to click and where to go. I've got all that info for free on my site that you can take a look at. All right, so I already asked this, but if you're new and just joining us, I would love to know who has boosted a post before, and if you have, actually, this is a little different than what I asked before. I said who has boosted or run an ad. I want to know who has boosted a post and has been disappointed in the results. You can drop an emoji or a yes if you've boosted and you haven't been sure of the results, you don't know what they were, or you're disappointed. Yeah. Yes. So it's funny. I often speak at presentations in the Milwaukee and the Madison, Wisconsin area, and yeah, when I ask this question, about 80% of the hands in the room, they shoot up in the air and people are like, yeah, we spent money. I couldn't tell you what happened. And that's the really dangerous part. And I know Kim had asked about this at the beginning of the call. That's the dangerous thing, because there is a difference between boosting and running an ad. And we'll go ahead and dive into that. But what's really dangerous about boosting is, oftentimes you just can't measure what your return was on your ad spend. And if you don't know exactly what that dollar for dollar return is, why are you spending money in a sense? Like there are times where like engagement is nice or page likes are nice, but you need to know exactly what you're getting out of the money you're putting in. So let's go ahead and dive into this a little bit more. All right, so why not boost? So boosting, it can look like a couple different things. On Facebook, it'll say boost. On Instagram, it will say promote. And there's just a button, right? And you can select your audience, how much money you want to spend, where your mile radius, like where you want to send this ad. But what's tricky about this is that you do have a lack of control with targeting. When we're running an ad, which is different than a boost, when we run an ad, we have so many different targeting capabilities. We're going to dive into that in a couple slides, but your options in regards to who you can reach, it's so much greater with an ad. With boosting, you're pretty limited. Additionally, you can't do any kind of split testing, and this is huge. So what this looks like for split testing for my clients is we're testing out, an image versus a video, one ad copy versus another ad copy, a call to action versus a different call to action. There are so many different elements that you can test out. And by testing out these things, that's where you're really able to drive down your cost per lead or per conversion, whatever it is that you're looking to measure. You can drive down your cost by split testing, and you can't do that when you're boosting. And then last, you're just not getting the best bang for your buck for all of those reasons that I just mentioned. It's really a waste of money if you can't test out multiple different audiences at the same time, multiple different images, like the same image with a red versus a blue background or whatever it might be. You're not getting the best bang for your buck. Excuse me, getting over the tail end of a cold here. So let's go ahead and chat about what is a Facebook ad. In case you didn't realize this, so Facebook owns Instagram, which means that our ads go to so many different places. It's not just, this is what many people think of when they think of a Facebook ad, something that's showing up in their news feed. But because Facebook owns Instagram, it can also show up in your Instagram stories. This is what it looks like in Instagram feed. And then there were actually about, oh gosh, at least 10 to 15 other placements too. So many people don't realize this, but your ads can, if for whatever reason you wanted them to, they could go to Facebook Marketplace. They could go to other people's apps, other people's websites, so like related blogs, things like that. They actually end up going to so many different places that aren't just on the platform. So again, that's one of the nice things that you have control over. If you create an actual ad through Facebook Ads Manager, you can control exactly where they go. So maybe you only want to be on stories, or maybe you only want to be on Facebook feed, whatever it might be, you get to decide. When you're boosting, you don't really have that control, and they're just going to send it out to whatever placements they'd like to. So kind of like I mentioned, Facebook ads, they're not just for Facebook. Yeah, here are a list of some of the places where they can be. Like I said, desktop and mobile, so your phone versus your desktop. Instagram feed, other people's websites, stories. Oh yeah, Messenger is another one. And then Marketplace. All right, so let's go ahead and chat about the pixel. So the pixel is simply a little piece of code that gets put on your website, and it tracks everything. It tracks any kind of interaction that you want to know about on your site. So whether it's people adding to cart, purchasing a membership, RSVPing for an event, you name it, the pixel tracks it. And so I want to chat about why you need to get a pixel on your site. And truly the number one thing that I would love for you to take away from this presentation today is that you need to get the pixel on your site as soon as you can. Even if you don't plan on running ads for 2 months, 3 months, maybe you're not even gonna touch them till the holidays or something like that. If you can get a pixel on your site right now, what it's going to allow you to do is just track all of the information that's happening. Your ads will perform better because you can actually set up custom tracking and events. And again, we'll get into that, but I just want you to know that getting the pixel on your site is a really wonderful first step. I actually have, I have a free tutorial on my website. You'll see it's actually the first thing that pops up. If you go to my site later, I've got video instructions that show you exactly where to click and what to do. So let's chat about what the pixel is. You might have gotten scared if you saw, oh my gosh, I need to get a little piece of code on my website. Okay, it's okay, take a step back. If you're not a web developer, if you don't have one on your team, it's not that tricky. Facebook actually gives us their step-by-step picture instructions. It's literally as easy as you follow along with the pictures that they have. You click here, you copy and paste, and it's not as painful as it sounds. But like I mentioned, this pixel gathers information on people who are on your site. And the big thing that we do with the pixel is we can do retargeting. This is huge, especially for any of you business owners who are looking to reach people who have been to your website before, or reach people who engage with you on your social media platforms. Maybe you want to reach people who abandoned their cart and remind them, hey, make sure to finish your order, your purchase, whatever it is, or RSVPing for your event. You can do that after you get this pixel installed. So that's why it's important to get it done ASAP, even if you're not going to go ahead and run any ads for a while. It's collecting all this info. So it knows who abandoned cart. It knows who spent some good amount of time on your website, but maybe hasn't converted yet. So and then last but not least, we can also use the pixel to create lookalike audiences. And that is going to be on one of our next couple slides here. So I'm going to just pause here for a second and just see, are there any questions regarding what I've covered about the pixel? I know many people don't have it on their site, but like I said, I've got I have a free tutorial for you if you hop on over to my website, adsuncorked.com. I'll put it up on the last slide too. If you jump on over there and enter in your email address, I'll give you the step-by-step directions. But any questions about the pixel before we talk about audiences? And if not, that's okay too. All right, so let's go ahead and chat about audiences. There are so many different types. I'm sure that you have heard a lot of the different types of audiences. They almost seem to be buzzwords these days, people talking about lookalikes or interest-based targeting. Let's go ahead and break down what all of your different options are and why you might want to consider one versus another. And again, you'll see this recurring theme. I have so many free resources on my website, so please go check it out. I have tutorials on more information than you'd ever want to know about audiences as well there. So let's talk about interest-based targeting. This is the most basic kind of targeting. This is where you get to really decide who it is that you're reaching in regards to age, gender, interests that they might have. So obviously, I think most everyone here is obviously in the wine, or they're, winery owners yourselves. So, think about magazines that they're reading. Of course, they're going to be interested in wine, the people that it is that you're looking to reach. So you can go ahead and type all of these interests into Facebook, and there are going to be options that you can use to select from. Other more creative types of targeting that I like to think about for clients when we do just like interest-based targeting is think about where are they shopping, think about grocery-wise, if there's a specific type of grocery store that they definitely would be shopping at versus another, even clothing brand-wise. And then last, what magazines do they read? So I'm sure you can think of, oh yeah, people who, who come and visit our winery, they're probably subscribed to one of these magazines. That's another really unique way that you can kind of broaden your reach and find people who might be interested in what it is that you have to offer. All right, other types of audiences. So you can target your email list, which is a really wonderful route to go. We see that the most number of conversions come in when you're looking to reach people who already know about you and your business. So anytime that we can target followers, email lists, people who have been on our website, people who know anything about you, those type of audiences typically respond really well to offers that we have because they're already invested in you and your business. So anyway, if you have an email list that's over 100 people, you can upload it to Facebook and reach the people on that list. And what's really nice is that Facebook allows us to see exactly the frequency. So exactly how many times someone has seen the ad, because oftentimes business owners will say, well, Jenny, I don't want to annoy my email list. I don't want them to get ticked off that they keep seeing this messaging. Well, you can actually keep track and see the frequency. And, if you see that they're seeing it 9 times, 10 times, okay, that's too much. But that's just a nice feature that Facebook allows us to have insight into. Like I mentioned, you can engage with those, you can reach those who have engaged with you on social, which is really a neat thing. You might have many, many, many followers, but a small group of people who engage with you. You can spend money on just reaching those people who engage with you, which is nice. So those who are liking and commenting and sharing, which is a good use of your money, right? Because they not only know about you, but then they're also people who are invested in your business. Like I mentioned, we can retarget to web visitors if we've got that pixel installed. This is huge. I work with a lot of, I'd say the main type of ads I run for clients are email list growth and then pushing sales. And retargeting is huge for if you're trying to push anything, whether this be purchase a ticket to come into our winery, whether it's purchase wine online, purchase whatever it might be. If there's any kind of purchasing that's happening, retargeting works really, really well. And then last, we have lookalike audiences. So this deserves its own slide because this is, you'll see here. It's a little bit more of a complex concept, but what a lookalike audience is Facebook will take an audience that you give them, and they can create an audience that's likely to perform similarly. So let me break that down and kind of dig into that. What does that mean? So if you give them an email list, and it's maybe a list of people who have come into your winery, what Facebook is going to know is they can know the age, the gender, what city they live in, financial bracket, occupation, where they shop, websites they visit, etc. It goes, I could go on and on and on. But when we install pixels on our websites, many, I mean, hundreds of thousands of businesses have pixels on their website. When someone creates their account, they're agreeing to the terms of all of this, meaning that they're agreeing that this information can be collected. Now, you don't have access to this. You don't know their name. You don't know their email address or anything like this. But what Facebook says is, hey, we can put together a list of people who are likely to perform similarly to this list you gave us. So for example, if you have, like I said, an email list of winery visitors, then what they'll do is they'll put together a list that's going to perform really similarly, and these audiences are good. And it sounds kind of creepy, and to be completely honest, it's something that we agree to in the very fine print of when we create our Facebook account, that we agree to the terms and conditions that Facebook can collect this information on us. So anyway, when they go ahead and they create these lookalike audiences, they're typically really, really great. I test this out for my clients all the time. I'm constantly trying out multiple different audiences to see which gives us the best return on the money we spent. And time after time, those lookalike audiences are wonderful. So anyway, you can do lookalike to email list, lookalike to web visitors, lookalike to people who have purchased, which is super powerful. Think about that. You're not only reaching like people who really enjoy wine, but you're also reaching online shoppers, and they can know that about the person who's purchasing and create an audience that's likely to be winery lovers plus wine lovers plus people who have online purchase behavior, that they shop a lot online. You can even do lookalike to people who watch certain videos of yours. All right, so we've got one comment that came in. I'm hesitant to share or upload our email list with Facebook. So, Kathy, that's totally your decision whether or not you're comfortable uploading it to Facebook. Now, the thing is, it's not sharing it with Facebook in the sense of Facebook isn't going to do anything with it without you deciding that's the case. So for example, when a client gives me an email list, it's not like all of a sudden Facebook has it and they're going to start spamming these people. I would create a specific campaign designed at reaching my people who have already decided to opt in, and they've given me permission for me to reach out to them. But it's totally personal preference, and you have to decide too. I don't know how you collected that specific email list and whatnot. It's just, it's A, what was in the terms of when people decided to opt in, and then B, whatever you're comfortable with. But no, Facebook isn't going to share that list with anyone or anything like that. Again, it's simply retargeting, just like you would reach your web visitors, and you can retarget to people who made it to your site. This is a way of reaching past customers if there's some kind of upcoming promotion or deal you want to reach them with. So we promise in their sign up not to sell or use their email for other promotion. If you've told them that you're not going to use it for other promotion, then I wouldn't. But consider, it'd just be something to consider in a conversation for your company to have if that's something that you'd like to be able to reach people via ads again. But if not, that's okay. Like I said, you can always reach your web visitors again, which is also a really powerful audience, or even reaching people who engage with you. That's another really powerful audience. Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. All right. So let's talk about the type of content that can be covered in ads. What should you be considering? And I guess let me take a step back and just make sure we're totally clear on the difference here. So boosting, that's when you just click promote or you click boost, you stick $10, $20, $100, however much behind it, and you let it run for a few days to a specific area. When we create an ad, this is actually happening through Facebook Ads Manager. So you have to create an account. Like I said, there's a free tutorial that pops up on my website when you enter in your email address. And it's going to show you exactly where to click, how to get yourself set up with an ad account. And anyway, through this ad account, that's where you can actually create strategic campaigns. So it's not just a quick promotion like, hey, come to our event that we're having, or join our email list, and hoping and praying that you see the results. Through Ads Manager, we can actually set up specific conversions. So I can know exactly what is the cost to get someone to join my email list. What is the cost to sell this bundle pack of wine that I have on my site? That's the real benefit of running ads. So many people, like I said, when I go and I speak to groups of people, the hands just shoot up of, yeah, I've spent hundreds of dollars. I have no idea what happened. And that's scary. And that's why I'm not a proponent of boosting. I'm really a proponent of actually designing out an ad campaign That's part of a bigger strategy, part of a bigger picture of, you know, this is our end goal and what are the ads that we're going to run to get us there. So maybe you do want to push a membership site, but maybe you need to work on growing your email list first, serving them some discount coupons, and then funneling them into a membership or something like that. There are so many examples, and this is something I help my clients do, is set up these funnels of how are we getting from A to B, and how do we know exactly what your dollar for dollar return was? So that's the benefit of running ads, is that you can design actual campaigns versus just a one-off, you know, here's $50 to Facebook. Please, like, you know, have people purchase or whatever it is. You just can't track it the same way. So anyway, all this being said, my huge focus for all of my clients and whenever I speak to other business owners is to encourage you to think about first connecting with people and then pushing for a conversion. People who are seeing your ads, they're real life people just like you, just like me, and they want to know who you are. They want to know about your business, what's important to you, and what your company stands for before they go ahead and spend any money on you. So what I want you to think about is, what kind of value can you provide to people who are seeing ads of yours, or even people who are seeing your social content? How can you build trust with them? Here are just a few ideas that I came up with for you, but thinking about if you have a popular blog post, maybe it's about wine tasting or pairing, you know, wine with charcuterie boards, whatever it might be. Think about how can you provide some value to them via possibly a blog on your website. Maybe there's a video tutorial, some kind of video that you can share with them, a behind the scenes of your business. Maybe there's some sort of freebie that you can give away, or I would even consider a coupon, a discount code of some sort, to be providing value and building trust with them. So let's dive into what these ads could look like in practice. So these are, you know, these are ways to build connection. Well, what does that actually look like when making a campaign? All right, first, I think I have 3 of them for you. So first, ads for sales and ads for special promotions. So this is a really, really popular one if you have either an event you're looking to push or a product that you're actually looking to sell on your site. Coupons do extremely well, especially when we are retargeting again to the warmest leads possible. So that means our email list, our web visitors, people who engage with us, etc. If you can give them some sort of small coupon, that will likely push them from maybe considering your offer to going ahead and purchasing. So this could be, you know, a 10%, you know, use code 10 wine for 10% off at purchase, or maybe there's some sort of BOGO deal you're running. Ads for sales and promotions do really well, and I run a lot. I'd say over half of my clients are e-commerce clients, so we're pushing product for them, and running ads for sales is a great way to go. Okay, I'm gonna just take a question here. So someone asked in the Q&A, when running a Facebook ad, does it automatically run to Instagram? Or is that additional? It automatically will go there unless you shut it off manually. You can shut off manual placements, but it'll go there automatically. All right, so, and I do have clients, like some clients of mine, their fan base really is on Facebook, and so we're not spending money there, and absolutely vice versa too, where we decide to do one platform or the other. I would just encourage you to think though about, let the data inform you. So in Facebook, you can actually see which conversions came from which platforms. And so I always let my ads run for a week, a couple weeks, while I'm keeping tabs on it, of course. But then using that data to inform what it is that we're going to do, like shutting off placement to Facebook or Instagram. All right. Okay, so next, so getting back to different types of ads you should consider. 1, ads for either sale or special promotion. Of course, we've got the holidays coming up, which is crazy to think that they will be here in just a few months. We are always busy running ads for special promotions during the holiday season. So that's definitely something to put on your radar right now. Next, ads to grow your email list. This is definitely, e-commerce is basically like half of my business, and email list growth is the other. I have so many business owners that reach out to me looking to grow their lists affordably. And we do this through either offering some kind of, again, you can offer a coupon in exchange for their email address. You can offer a freebie of some sort, you know, and get creative in thinking about this. Maybe you have some kind of neat, you know, wine guide, winemaking guide, wine pairing guide. You know, I'm sure you all have some sort of free content that you can come up with if you don't have anything already that you can ask for in exchange for someone's email address. So this would be in the form of just a simple landing page where you have, you know, the image of whatever, even if it's a bottle of wine, and then name, email address, and after they click submit, then is sent to them the freebie, the coupon, etc. And then you're growing your list, and through that, then you're able to reach them with upcoming promotions that you have. There's another good question coming in that I'll answer at the end. All right, and then last but not least, I've mentioned this, I'm gonna mention it again because it is so powerful. We see our best conversions, our best return on ad spend with retargeting ads. So again, this is where you are reaching out to people who know about your business, and you're able to get them with any kind of promotion, deal, etc. that you have going on. So this can be past customers, social media followers, website visitors. All right, and so with that, what I'm going to do is I'll chat with you guys about some free resources I have. We'll open it up to Q&A, and then I think we will be just about done here, but let me just chat about some free resources. Like I mentioned, I used to be a teacher in my past life. I actually was a math teacher for a number of years before I went into marketing. And so I, I just love educating people, and there is so much info on my site. So things like how to save money on your Facebook ads, how to create an ad funnel, tracking options with Facebook and Instagram, all for free. Go check it out on my site. And make sure to join my email list too. I send out weekly emails to everybody on my list just to let them know what's going on with Facebook ads these days, kind of tips and tricks, things you'll want to make sure you keep in the loop on. And then last but not least, if you are interested in learning how to actually do this yourself and get an in-depth look of how do I run ads? How do I set up these funnels? How can I have someone teaching me this along the way? I actually have a number of courses out there. And you can use code WINE15. That's WINE15, and that will give you 15% off your purchase. I have videos for beginners, intermediate, advanced. I have videos specifically for e-commerce, and then I also have like a full comprehensive course. If you want everything, the beginner and the intermediate, advanced, you can just purchase the whole thing as one. And there's so much wonderful info there. So check that out. WINE15 will give you that 15% off. And then let's see here. Yeah. All right. So we'll go ahead, and I'm going to open this up now to Q&A. And I see that I've got, okay, there's a couple different chat boxes here. All right, great. So I'm going to stop talking and answer any questions that you guys have. We've got one from Adriana. How can you build Instagram followers, real ones? This is a great question. So with Facebook, let me first start with Facebook. With Facebook ads, it's easy to grow your follower base. It's actually quite affordable. There's a campaign type that is specific to growing. It's called like a page like ad. It's under engagement. It's called a page like ad. And that grows your Facebook page following quickly and pretty affordably. Unfortunately, Instagram does not have that option. However, you can still grow your following through running ads with people who actually want to see your content. So what this looks like is you could run a brand awareness ad. So brand awareness means that you're looking to reach people who want to know more about your brand and are likely to engage with you in the future. You can run that type of ad. You can also run, there are specific engagement ads. So you could, again, run an engagement ad. And the thought is, what my big recommendation for you would be is make sure your feed is cohesive. So make sure you're posting regularly, that your feed is beautiful, it's visually appealing when someone goes and takes a look, that if they were served an ad and delivered right to your Instagram page itself or your Instagram account, that they'd look at it and be interested in following you. That's the best way that I found to do it. And I do, in fact, I'm running some ads right now for a couple different business owners of mine looking to grow their Instagram following. And it is possible. You just, again, need to make sure that your messaging is cohesive, that your feed is aesthetically pleasing, and that that your organic strategy is really locked up and ready. All right, what other questions do we have? We actually have a little bit of time. Jennifer, I have up to another 30 minutes, right? I can't hear you, but I think the answer is yes. I was just going to say, I'm happy to do, would you all be interested in a quick screen share of just kind of seeing what the platform looks like and where to go? I think that would be a great use of time here. Let's see, but feel free. Okay, great. Yeah, we had a yes here. Okay, wonderful. Well, let me show you around Facebook Ads Manager. And again, any questions, just go ahead and enter them on in. So there are a couple different places you can go to get your ad account set up. One of them, I think I use it so often that it pops up over here on the left-hand side where it says Ads Manager, but you can also go drop this down and it'll say there's a button that says Manage. Yeah, Manage Ads. So either one of them will bring you to your Ads Manager account. I have my account set up already, so if you don't, yours will likely look a little different, and mine is like a business manager account. So again, it'll look pretty different, or sorry, a little different, but essentially the same. The pieces will all basically be the same. So this is kind of a dummy account of mine. This is like an old personal one. I don't know the last time I spent mine in here, probably years ago. So we'll just keep this old dummy account open for you. And this is what Ads Manager looks like. You can add multiple different people on it. I always set up my clients with Business Manager because it's easy to be able to add people, take people off as positions change, people leave the company, etc. Sometimes it's nice to have that extra layer of just confidentiality and also knowing that like your personal card isn't going to be charged. Many people run it under their personal account and they're like, shoot, you know, I accidentally charged my personal card. It helps just keep that clear distinction between like business and personal, especially when it comes to Facebook. So anyway, what you're looking at here is Ads Manager. We have campaigns. So this is like the biggest umbrella. Underneath that is the ad set. And then underneath that is the individual ad. So let's kind of dive in and talk about what each of these levels looks like. So at the campaign level, Adriana, you had asked about, ads to grow your Instagram following. This is where you select your specific objective, and these objectives do matter. So here we have either awareness, consideration, or conversion. I spend most of my time in the consideration and conversion columns. And what's cool is if you hover over this, Facebook will tell you why you might want to choose each one of these objectives, and they truly do matter. So for example, if I'm running an engagement ad, take a look. So these are people who are likely to engage with my post, like, comment, share. If that's what you're looking for, you're gonna wanna run an engagement ad, and it will tell you your cost per engagement, which is great because that's what you wanted to measure. If you want to grow your page following, your Facebook page like, again, what's awesome is you're now an Ads Manager. It will show you your cost per page like, which is wonderful. Event responses. If you've got an upcoming event, an open house, whatever it might be, again, your cost per RSVP, which is just so valuable. You'll know where your money's going, which is just great. That's what you have to do that. If you aren't sure where your money's going or what the outcome was, it's essentially for nothing. So highly encourage you to get inside of Ads Manager to do this. For my clients who are selling product or who are creating ads for email list growth, I'd consider that to be a conversion. That's where we're really pushing for, again, what the cost per conversion is. So with this type of campaign, I can tell my clients, hey, your cost per email subscriber was X. Your cost per getting someone to buy that bundle pack was X. So conversion is another place I hang out. But anyway, I could spend all day going through all these different options, but hover over them and you'll see why you might want to select each one of these objectives. And again, this is the campaign level. So this is kind of the broadest term, or the broadest part of the advertising process. So this type of campaign or this part of the campaign, excuse me, is where you just decide the overarching goals of this. So conversion, and just name it something specific. Like let's say there's an upcoming wine sale. So I could go like that. And then we click continue. Now we're at the ad set level. You can see it's kind of bringing me down over here on the left-hand side. This is where I tell them, this is the conversion I'm looking to measure. Here's who I'm targeting. Here's how much I'm spending. And here's what platform I want it to be on. So we'll go ahead and go through. You can name your ad set, like let's say we're looking to reach, I don't know, I'm just making this up. I'll just call it wine lovers, and I can go through and show you where we find those targeting options. But anyway, so within the pixel, so this is where we choose our pixel. You can see that this is, like I said, this is an old dummy account of mine. I think I use it with like my Facebook Marketplace or something. So all of these are red. So it's showing you that these events aren't going to fire. But if I had an e-commerce site, I could measure adds to cart or purchases. Just for time's sake, I'm just going to do, yeah, add to cart. And so you'll see it's red because there's nothing hooked up. I don't have a website for myself. Of course, my business does. But anyway, it would be green to let me know that I installed it properly. Again, those directions are on my site, and it'll show you how to know that you're doing it right. And then down here, this is where we do our audience. So this is where I can choose, like, let's say I'm looking to reach people in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You can do your certain mile radius around it. Really, you know, if you're doing a campaign, maybe you're actually selling wine on your site, that could be a national campaign. You decide where it's most popular and where it makes sense for you. I've worked with wineries in the past, and we've done basically their top selling cities. We've gone ahead and run these ads to them as well. So you decide, but you can do nationwide, city. You can get as small as a 10-mile radius around a certain location, which is neat. So if you have maybe an event coming up or something, just keep it really small around your area is an option for you. And this is where you select your age, your gender, and like I mentioned, if you're doing your detailed targeting, I'm a red wine gal, so let's go ahead and do red wine. And then you can, over here, it's going to tell me my audience size. You can go ahead and click suggestions, and then it's going to let you know all of these other different options that you can choose from. There are thousands, right? So I'm not going to go ahead and do it right now, but you could go ahead and really narrow this down to exactly who it is that you're looking to reach. So I could spend probably 2 hours showing you all the different targeting options because, like I said, that's where our lookalike is. That's where we reach our web visitors, etc. We're not going to do that right now. I just kind of want to give you a brief overview of what we're looking at. So audience targeting is there. Placements, automatic. So this is where, again, this is what will happen automatically, and especially like with boosting, that's what's happening. Manual. This is where I can say, no, I don't want it to go to Instagram. I don't want it to go to Messenger in the audience network, which is other people's sites and whatnot. And then here you can kind of just manually select what it is that you want. And then last but not least, your daily budget. So you can do daily or lifetime. You can set a start date, end date, etc. And then last but not least, we're looking at the ad level. So again, it's campaign up top, then ad set is where you select budget, audience, placement. Underneath that is your ad level. This is where you actually have fun creating the ad itself. You can do carousel ads, which is where they have to swipe to see multiple images or videos. You can do just a single image or a collection if you have like a really robust e-commerce shop. This is where you put in your text, your descriptions, your URL. You can change this to like shop now, learn more, RSVP, whatever it is. And then you just click confirm and you're there. Let's see here. So I'm not going to confirm it because I didn't actually create an ad here, but I see a number of questions coming in. So I'm just going to go ahead and press pause on this here and come on back and see what you all are wondering. And please feel free to keep dropping comments here. Okay. Okay, Patrick had a great question. Are there additional platforms that should be utilized in addition to Facebook and Instagram? Patrick, it depends what your goals are. Absolutely a time and place for other platforms too. I've worked on just about every platform under the sun. LinkedIn ads are wonderful. It would be a special situation in which I would recommend it. I think for a winery owner, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I've run very successful LinkedIn ads. They're more expensive there. They're much more expensive, but the leads are high quality. I've used it more for recruiting, more business to business. So if you are trying to reach B2B, that would be a great place to be. If you're looking to reach consumers, Facebook and Instagram is where you want to be. But yeah, definitely B2B if you're thinking about it. LinkedIn is a good place to be. I also run Google ads for clients. So that would be good if you're looking to reach more of your local sector. I would do it again in conjunction with many of my clients. We start on both platforms. And then after a month, we're able to see, hey, your cost per getting someone to come into your store or whatever the goal is, we can compare it Facebook versus Instagram versus Google. And that's one of the things that I would highly recommend doing is trying out, if you're like between, if you're torn as to which platform to be on, give them a try and then see what that cost per conversion is on one versus another. All right, Corey created an ad that was not accepted. Ads manager told me they had problems creating the ad. Is there a way to find out? Yeah, is there a way to figure out basically what happened and why it couldn't be created? There's a couple different options. If you did not select 21 plus, could be an issue there. there, you know, Corey, when you submit it, there should be a button that says either to like request feedback, or there's some kind of feedback button where you can see the reason it was rejected, and I would pay attention to that. It was either likely because it was alcohol, which you can get around, or it could have been verbiage used. I wouldn't think it would have been, but I see that sometimes my ads are rejected for my companies that are more brands that are assuming attributes of people. So I guess I'll explain that, because it's kind of an interesting concept. Facebook doesn't want you to use the word you whenever possible. So like, are you stressed out and need to unwind? Come to our winery. I'm just making this up off the top of my head, but that word, the use of the word you, they don't like you assuming, oh, that this person is stressed out or is anxious, or, you know, whatever it might be. We will see sometimes that the ad copy itself will trigger the ad to not be approved. Instead, it's good to just kind of be passive, like unwind and enjoy an afternoon with your family at fill in the blank vineyards, whatever it might be. Again, I'm just making this up, but using kind of language that doesn't necessarily call out a person, sometimes that helps, but you should be able to click on the ad and see specifically why it was disapproved. Joseph was asking to speak on the cost for my consulting services. Sure, so I offer a couple different options. Like I said, I've got, of course, like self-paced course on my website that you can check out with that discount code too. Make sure you use that. I also do one-on-one consulting. So these are for businesses. Typically, these are for my smaller businesses that have a team that's eager and they want to learn this. So this is where we go ahead and we create an advertising plan. I show you who we're going to target, what we're going to say, how much we're going to spend. I set up your tracking, provide feedback on your website, etc. And that really is a custom tailored package. It depends how big your needs are. Most of my clients they start with like 3 to 4 sessions with me, and then they go ahead and just book me like on a monthly kind of touch up basis, just to refresh on the campaigns that we set live, just to get my help with optimizations, etc. So Joseph, if you are interested, just shoot me a message, and in my form, it'll ask a little bit more about you, and then I can get you a quote for what something might look like for what you're interested in. And then of course I do full on ads management too. So this is for people who you don't want to spend the time doing it. You'd like it just to be taken care of by someone. And so we do full on ads management as well. And the cost for that does vary depending on if you're just looking to grow your email list, or if you need email list growth, page follower growth, and e-commerce, like you're selling a product. It depends on your number of campaigns, but all of these, just to give you a general ballpark, all of these services are anywhere between like $4.99 for the consulting, versus if I do full on ads management, it can be close to about $775 per month. That's just for my management fee. So it really depends. And again, that's just total ballpark. Shoot me a message if you're interested, and I'd love to learn more about you and your business and let you know what I think would be appropriate for you. Yeah, always set wine ads to 21 plus. Absolutely. Let's see. When you are uploading an email list to Facebook, is it better to use work email addresses or personal email addresses? This is a great question. So whatever you upload to Facebook, it's going to need to be a match of who's on Facebook. So for example, I've got a few different emails, right? I've got a personal, I've got like a junk personal, I have a work email address. Whatever email address someone gives you is obviously what you'll upload. Facebook needs to find a match between that email list and someone who's on their platform. So what this looks like is, what's nice is if you can provide as many fields as possible, they're more likely to get a match. So for example, my name is Jenny Porelski, and Jenny at Ads Uncorked is my email address. If I entered in maybe my personal email instead, but I had the Jenny Porelski, well, Facebook would be able to find me. So it depends. Just upload all the info you have on someone that they've entered and given you permission to upload, of course, and that info will, they'll do their best to match it if they can. It'll let you know too if they can't match or if your list is too small. Again, minimum 100. Thank you, Jennifer. So Jennifer says, Patrick, LinkedIn is a good way to find meeting planners. Absolutely. Yeah, anything kind of like in the B2B world where you need to make connections with people or other businesses, that's a good way to do it. It's more of the professional side of advertising. Question, can you actually see who is looking at your ad and who clicks? So what you can see is, you can see who likes it, you can see who comments, and most of the time you can see who shares. So I think that answers your question. I can't see who saw it necessarily, but it would be more specific to who actually engaged with it. And then, Margie, what are your favorite interests when building an audience? Do you choose many or just a few? Great question. Oh, this is a good question. Nobody's ever asked me that. My favorite interests, I would say when I build an audience based on interests, I try to get as specific as possible. So it's really difficult for me to say like specific to your, it's really specific on the industry, right? Like what my favorite interests are, but I can show you something that I often will use. Take a look. If you click on browse, you can see more like, again, like umbrella categories, which is nice. I oftentimes will be targeting like parents specifically if I know that I'm looking to reach like a parent audience, even if they're parents with grown-up kids or parents of newborn children, whatever it might be. I really like using that one a lot. So I will do parents. And again, you can get specific. Take a look. New parents, all parents, parents with older kids, etc. So that's one that I always like to use. Another cool one too that might be interesting for you all to take a look at, life events. So if someone has an anniversary coming up, well, wine would be a great thing, or some kind of, you know, basket if you're selling something on your site. So anyway, this is a huge rabbit hole, right? Like there are so many different options here, but my advice to you is get as specific as possible. So right now, let you into my business. I'm running ads right now for email list growth because ad spend is very affordable right now. It's the most affordable I've seen it all year. So anyway, I decided, okay, I'm going to grow my email list. So what I did when creating ads, I generally work with small business owners, entrepreneurs. You know, I work with all different kinds of businesses, but specifically for this campaign type, I wanted this more entrepreneurial community. So I didn't just type in entrepreneur. I then went a little bit deeper and I said, okay, who are these people? Who are they at their core? What podcasts are they listening to? What books are they reading? And I really got granular with that to find, you know, like influencers in the market that they might be following, typed in the name and used that. Because if I were to just start going crazy, look, if I do entrepreneurship, if I do small business owner, etc., and let's say I did it like US wide, take a look. All of a sudden this audience is going to get huge. So the more you add on here, the bigger it gets. So you'll see here, it's probably gonna be in the millions. Yeah, so it's huge, it's too big. And so my recommendation for you is just to get really specific. Are you looking to reach women in your area, parents of a certain age, just people of a certain age? Get as specific as you can. If you cast your net too broad, like if you start adding in wine, wineries, wine tasting, and all these things, you'll notice that, look at this potential reach. That's ridiculous. That's too many people. I would keep it at, you know, if it's local, you'll have a small group of people, but if it's an international campaign, you'd have, I mean, you could have millions and that's okay. Like a few million is fine. But again, I do run ads for like itty bitty small cities too. So know that if you are in a smaller area looking to reach a more targeted demographic, that's okay. Like I run ads in Cody, Wyoming. I don't know if anybody's heard of Cody, Wyoming, but the Yellowstone National Park is right near there, and there's a big museum. That's the museum that you go and you visit before you head to the park. So I run ads for the museum there, and it's a small itty bitty city with a small number of visitors. So in that case, I just need to make sure that I'm aware that my audience will be smaller, and that's okay. So it really just depends, but just to have fun playing around with this and checking out, again, browse is a good place to kind of get started, especially, you know, you could even be thinking about people who like entertaining, people who like socializing, etc. Those are all interests that are in here. So have fun digging around. It's a rabbit hole.
I can jump in on that a little bit too. You know, one of the things that I find when I'm running ads for, and it's been a while, it's been a minute since I've done any ads for wineries, but you know, look at the Silicon Valley Bank report. That'll give you a lot of information on demographics. You know, so 80% of the people who buy wine are women. They're generally speaking between the ages of 35 and 55. And so you can really look at that report and kind of get some information from that. Another great tip is the fact that a lot of people use their Facebook account to log into things like VRBO or Airbnb. So as soon as they use their Facebook account to log in when they're going on vacation, Facebook knows that they're going to be traveling to that location. So if you choose people who are going to be traveling to your area, you know, if you're in a wine region, then the likelihood is that they're coming to drink wine. So you know, targeting to people who are traveling into your area is great. Also, people who like publications like Wine Enthusiast, people who are interested in other online wine brands like Naked Wines, things like that are good targeting.
Yes.
For wine specific. Always set it to over 21. You don't want to get arrested. Not arrested, you'd get in trouble. So, yeah, so I think that's what I would say for wine specific.
Yeah.
Report.
Yep, that's wonderful advice. And just so you guys can see what Jennifer was talking about, if you drop this down, you can have people traveling in the area or recently in the area. If that's the case, again, set it to 21 plus, and I would keep it as broad as possible if you are a smaller local area. But yeah, like Jennifer said, you know, that's the pixel for you too. You're connected, and Facebook knows where you're visiting. And website wise, but then even physically wise, like she said, if you are logging into other people's platforms like VRBO or Airbnb, etc., using anything to log in anywhere. So, all right, I think those are all of the questions. Oh, you're wonderful. Awesome. You're welcome. So, oh, Sheila raised a hand. I don't know what that means. Let's see here. I think there was another comment that came through, but I can't see it anymore. So.
The Pixel. Is the Pixel an app?
Oh, is the Pixel an app? Nope, it's simply a little piece of code that gets entered into your site. Let me show you real quick here what it looks like and how to know if you did it properly. Like I said, free tutorial, go check it out on my site. But this is how you know if it is actually working. We have, okay. Do you see this little thing right here? This is called the Facebook Pixel Helper. It's a free tool. You just Google Facebook Pixel Helper, you get it installed, and it will be red. It'll give you an error message with a little red X if something isn't installed properly. But you can see I've got my Pixel. It's ready to go. So yeah, it's not an app. It's simply a series of letters and numbers that you just copy and paste onto your site, and then Facebook Pixel Helper will let you know if there's an issue.
Awesome. Well, okay, there we go. A couple more questions.
Okay, so I got it from my website, not from Facebook. I got it from Facebook to install on my website. You're welcome.
Alrighty, if there's no more questions, thanks, Jenny. And her website is at www.adsuncorked.com. And once again, she is offering 15% off on her courses. So she also has the free tutorials on her website. So I will be following up with an email to everyone who is participating today with a link to her website and some more information on that. Please join us again next week. We're going to be covering, I'm going to be talking about just easy ways to create content for Facebook and Instagram using things like Canva, SurveyMonkey. We're going to talk about where to find some great free stock photography, how to create some images that are branded for, you know, your brand and with your logo and all of that, just super easily, that doesn't really cost anything. So go ahead and on our website, that event is up, but the link to register is not up yet. So I'll send that out also in the follow-up email. And thanks
so much, Jennifer.
All righty. Okay, I'm going to end the meeting, and thank you everybody for attending, and thanks, Jenny.
Yep, thank you.